Morning. It is Thursday the 9th of April. This is the additional seated only movement snack, and I'm just tuning in a little bit early to give you time to orientate around the screen. Hello Emma, people are arriving. Get into position, get a chair that's right for you. And if you've been involved in our other movement snacks in this mission, this is number 54 of our 10-minute movement snacks. And this is the second kind of specific dedicated movement snack we've done to seated only options. So this is the preamble, the pre-broadcast broadcast to see who's going to be joining us live. But of course they will be available. You may be watching this on YouTube or later on this Facebook page. So welcome. If you want to go off and do something and come back in about 3.5 minutes, that's the point we'll get moving. Come on, keep coming in. So we have Wales and Emma, I forgot where you're from. Up a bit, innit? Up a bit in the country. Tell us where you are from. Where are you calling from? Where are you tuning in from? Just so I get an understanding of where we are in the country. This is the awkward silence that I'm slowly getting used to. Slowly. Do you have one of these? This is the active calendar that informs all of our movement snacks, and there's some in here that we will definitely be doing today. The mobility movements in here, some of the stretches also. This is freely downloadable from this Facebook page, downloadable and printable. Keep coming in, come on everyone. Do you know where you're going to sit? This is probably the 2 and a bit minute countdown before we get going. Barbara from Keith. Barbara from Keith. Keith is a place, I'm assuming. Barbara from Keith. Dawn is watching. Scotland in. Hello seated snackers. Yes, yes. It's the dedicated seated snack. Hello Maddie. How was the wine from the delivery yesterday? Keith is a lovely place. Lovely to see you all. Moray. Barbara in Moray. Okay, in 1 minute we're going to get started. Keep chatting amongst yourselves. Don't mind me. Getting ready. And have you got some kind of cushion or tea towel on hand? Is mine here. Something like this. We're going to be resourceful and use some household things. And a cushion. Or if you haven't got a cushion, I've got my mum's teddy bear. Can also serve as something squashy. No teddy bears were harmed in the making of this video. Okay, we're going to do it. We're going to go. Ready, steady. 3, 2, 1. Good morning. My name is Bex Townley. Welcome to this movement snack that is specifically going to focus on and spend more time looking at seated movement options. Have a look, join in when you want, stop and have a look, or just pick up the movement when you see it. These are movement snacks designed to give you some thoughts and ideas of how to be more active even in seated positions. So if you need to make the movements smaller, do so. Rest when you want to. Nothing we do should be painful or uncomfortable. But of course, when we do move a little bit more, your muscles will be working, so you can expect a little bit of muscle soreness the next day. This is usual and means we're moving more than we normally do. So this is good. All right, so let's get going. Here is the chair I'm going to use today, like so. And I've chosen to do this movement snack in an armchair because the probability is you'll be sat in a comfortable chair throughout the day, in and out. So if you are in a hard dining room chair, that's great. If you're in a chair without arms, that's great also. I'm just going to show you how we can move more in what is probably your comfortable daily chair. So from a start position, which feels quite nice. If we're going to think about moving to our optimum, we really want to get in a better position to do that. So here's some options. Using the arms of the chair, just shift your weight forward so that you're sitting tall away from the back of the chair. This really is the first stage in encouraging our posture muscles to work for us rather than the chair. And of course, this posture position directly translates to our standing postures also, and our balance in chairs. So from here, you can use the arms of the chairs to help with this, or on the cushion of the chair. The next thing we want to do is shift the weight, transferring the weight from one buttock to the other. So it's a lift and a shift. And you may or may not be able to use your feet and legs to do that. So I've got a little bit of shift through the arms, a little bit of shift through the hips. And this movement itself is mobilising and getting the body to transfer weight. The reason we do this is it brings us forward and then allows this upright posture position. Now I'm going to suggest we do a little bit more of that because it really does get to mobilise the hips. So hands on for support if you need, and now do the same but in reverse. So shift, lift and shift. Your feet can come back with you if that's possible, and then shift all the way back into this relaxed position. So here we call this the full back rest. The chair's doing all the work, muscles are having a rest. We want to activate those posture muscles to sit tall, away from the back of the chair. If from here we can then go even further, if we are going to progress to stand, this movement will make standing easier. If you're not going to progress to stand, it still enables a much freer position to work from. So this is our posture set up. Make sure that the feet are under the knees and that you're not sinking here, that you've lifted out here as much as you can. We're going to start to bring in some steady shoulder movements. So as you can see, I've bent my elbow a little bit and I'm moving from the shoulder. So just a range of movement that's comfortable for you. Can you see my arms tucked in? Let's do the other one. All of this on this upright posture. As and when you can, we bring both in for a coordinated march. And can you see I've got this little bit of turn. So this is how we walk in standing. So arms and legs move together in a coordinated way. But what we're doing here is just boosting the circulation. So this type of movement is going to increase the circulation, and you may feel that you want to take a deeper breath. That's okay, that's usual. Let's go down to the bottom half now. So if feet actions are an option for you, here's the first one. So take the feet forward a little bit, and then we're just going to start on raising the toes, one and then the other. So it's like an alternating toe tap. So we're mobilising the ankles here again, but this action will also act as a circulation booster. Just a few of those. Take a pause. Just bring the legs back And now we go the other way. So now you're lifting the heels. You'll start to feel this behind the lower leg here in the calves. That's okay, that's usual. If you feel you can progress that, some hands on the chair for support, or the arms of the chair. And now we can take those ankle movements to progress to this steady march. Keep hands on the chair if you need to help support the posture. And can you see I'm still focusing on my ankles? So I'm trying to march from there, from the ankle movement. As and when you can, bringing in the arm and the other. If coordination goes a bit haywire, that's perfectly usual as well. So when that happens, we just take a pause, have a pit stop, and build it up again. You may feel, let me give you another option here, if you just put the hands lightly together, this may help with coordination also. And again, we can come back to the steady march. Take a pause. So that's our minute or so, maybe 2 minutes of circulation boosting. Now, if you're sat for long periods, even coming up into this position and doing 30 seconds or a minute of that is going to have benefits. It's going to really switch on and activate these posture muscles and generally get the body moving. This is what we want. At minimum, this is what we want. If you feel you need to have a little of a pause here because the posture muscles get tired, that's usual also. And then come back up into this sit position. At any time, of course, you may decide to take your full back rest. So you may decide to mobilise all the way back into the chair and here. Now, while you're here, we can do some extra mobility for the ankle. So in this fairly supported, relaxed position, can you see I'm going to just lift my foot a little bit, just a little bit off the floor, and now I can start to take this ankle mobility. So I'm fairly relaxed back in the chair, but active here, but I'm focusing on this ankle movement. Just 3, 4, 5 of these really, really specific movements for the ankle. Same on the other one. So just a little bit off the floor, squeeze the toes back, push the toes forward. Try to be specific with this rather than just give the ankle a whirl. So really focus, have a look. That this will help understand this movement also. All right, good, take a pause. We're going to come up into this upright posture position. So can you see I can either use my hands to help me do that, or I can lift with that postural strength as well. Either or is good. Hip walk forward if you can. Sitting tall, feet flat. Let's take some shoulder shrugs. Straight up and down with control. Head stays still, can you see? So we're going to take 4 or 5 of these. Feel how much movement you have across both shoulders. Now if you can, let's progress that to take it into a backward roll. And can you see I've got my hands on my thighs, so this can kind of help guide this movement. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see here. And can you see I've got this open, this squeezy back type movement here. So it's much more than just shoulders, this one. It's bringing in the whole of the upper back. Okay, good. Coming down, back up to the neck position here. So our shoulders and upper back are connected to the neck, obviously, so they all work together. So we're going to take now a sideways turn and a pause back to the centre. So these head movements are important. Everything we do in daily life is pretty much directed and driven by our heads to see where we're going. So just feel how we can turn these movements, keep moving back to the centre and pause. One more movement for the neck here. I'm going to put my fingertips lightly on my chin. I'm going to come a little bit closer so you can see this one. Have a look. And I'm going to stop talking so you can just watch. Can you see? So I press my head back to here, and this one is mobilising the neck to help us carry our head literally in a better position. This will help with posture. This will also help with our balance in sit or in stand. One more time, have a look. Okay, good. Let's move on. In our hip walk position, come forward, come forward, come forward. Trunk now, feet flat on the floor. Now before we do this one, think about your buttocks. Can you think about them? Can you think? You got them? Think about your buttocks and just, can you give them a squeeze? Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And I'm asking you to do this because when we turn and move in seated positions, the anchor point of our buttocks and our feet are really important to help with reaching, grabbing and functional reach. So I need you to find your buttocks. Can you find them? And then really fix the hips. So now when I turn here, back to the centre, I can feel really secure and firm. I've connected with my buttocks. If you want to, as you turn, you can give them a little squeeze. So you can squeeze and turn. And that might help you really understand, am I really balanced in this chair? So I'm turning around, back to centre. Slow these movements, no speed, no momentum. And if you want to, you can bring the hands in with that. And as you turn to one direction, the opposite buttock has to work quite hard to stay in place. Okay, take a pause, have a little pit stop. Remember, your posture muscles are going to get tired. This is usual. And this is why we want to increase this active time, even in seated. Lift and open. Here's the next movement, side bend. Buttocks again, this is really important for buttocks. I'm going to take a sideways bend and my buttocks stay in the chair, back up to centre. Pause. Back the other way now. And as I bend, my backside, my buttocks stay firmly in the chair. You might want to give yourself some extra support here. You want to come back a little bit, you can actually lean into one side of the chair and come back. Buttocks stay firm here, or I can support arms there. But as I take the bend, I'm still really firm here in the chair. Can you feel that? Nothing else moving. Okay, good. Have a little pause. From here, if we just extend the legs, just have a little bit of activity here. So lengthen the leg out, just rest it on the floor, or add in an extra little bit of upper body. So we want to keep that circulation active, a little bit of movement generally, just to keep the blood flowing. Okay, good, take a pause. Here's the next movement. We're going to take some functional reaches, and again you need to come back into contact with your buttocks. Lots of buttock action here. Give them a squeeze. Can you feel them? If we can, we're going to take a slight forward step through the legs. We're going to lift up tall. We're going to use this strong posture that we've been setting up in these minutes, and we're going to reach and shift like so and come back, and then we're going to change the other way. And as I reach and shift forward, a little bit more squeeze through the buttocks. So I'm lifting and reaching, lifting and reaching. I put one leg out in front, that's going to help with my balance. And here I've got my shoulder coming in as well. And if you want to, you can reach a little bit upwards. Can you see my back is straight? I'm lengthening up. And the further I reach forward and up, the more I need to use my buttocks to anchor me behind. Can you feel that? Come back. Take a pit stop after that one. So that one was extending the spine and adding some reach. Still with me? Come back up again. I want to keep finding these buttocks, and I now want to bring in some legs. So squeeze your buttocks, and as you do so, press your heels into the floor. And can you see what happens? As I press my heels down, I start to almost pick myself up from the chair, and I've got this forward reach, this forward hinge as well. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this. I'm here, and I've got this. So I'm pressing down into the floor. And if you want to put your hands on your thighs here, give them a squeeze. You can feel these muscles contracting. Okay, so that's starting to bring in some strength activity in the thighs here. So just take a little pause, have a rest, all the way back if you need to. I'm going to switch focus now to a little bit more upper body. So can I ask you to get your tea towel for this one? Tea towel. Here. And then come forward in the chair if you can. So we've just done some functional reaching forwards and out, and now we're going to focus a little bit more on this backward action here. So we're trying to start to get a little bit more strength activity in the upper back behind, but also wrists. Let's just rehearse this movement without the tea towel. So palms up position, please, elbows close to the body, and then just ease the elbows back behind you and then back to start position. Head stays still. Squeeze back and here. So already you can start to feel, can you squeeze those shoulder blades together behind? This is the movement. It's going to feel a little bit different when we add this now. So take hold of the tea towel, palms up if you can. If palms up is uncomfortable for whatever reason, then for sure we can change that grip if you need to. So if one hand can't get all the way up, that's okay, or even here if you need. The preference is here if you can. All right, can you see there? So I'm going to put the tension on the tea towel and then take that same movement and then return and release and switch off. Relax shoulders if you need to. Have a pit stop if you need to. Come in again, come in again. This is all part of this optimum movement. Scoop up the band. Keep this about belly button height, a little bit lower. Put the tension on, so a little pull apart, so we're squeezing through the grip in the wrists. Pull apart and then back towards the tummy and release and return. Switch off after each one. Let's try 2 or 3 more of those if you feel you can. Lift up, take the tea towel, give it a squeeze. I'm going to turn slightly sideways so you can see what's happening here. Here. There, and then switch off, release after each one, and feeling that you're squeezing those shoulder blades together. What this is doing is just offering a little bit of resistance, so we're starting to get more strength rather than just mobility. Okay, have a release. If you want to take a little stretch forward on that one, that might feel nice behind the upper back. Tea towel away. Teddy bear or cushion. It's entirely up to you. Maybe cushion. Now we're going to focus on some strength around the legs and also the ankles. Okay, last couple of these and then we're done on the movement snack. So we're going to start with a cushion slightly between the knees. Can you see? Okay, 2 things we can do with a cushion here. The first one I'm going to do is just give it a squeeze. Now, remember the buttock squeezes I got you to do just now? Can you think about also squeezing your pelvic floor? So we're going to have 3 things going on at once. An inward, a buttock and a pelvic floor, and then a release. Make sure that we have the squeeze followed by the release. Let's go again. Squeeze and release and relax. Squeeze and release and relax. So can you find your buttocks? Can you find this squeeze through the cushion? And can you squeeze the pelvic floor as well? One more challenge before we move on. Can you just squeeze the pelvic floor now without squeezing the cushion or without squeezing the buttocks? So can you just focus on that one muscle contraction, that pelvic floor? Just have a think about that. And that's another important thing to crowbar into these days. Here's the other thing we're going to do here with a cushion, and it involves feet. So just turn your feet slightly in and think about where your little toes are, because we're going to sweep the ankles out and up. Have a look. Out and up. Come back, toes this position, and then in and up. So I've got this little toe up, big toe in and up, and then take a pause in between. The cushion here is just helping fix the knees in a better position and helps you really focus on the ankles. And can you feel as you sweep the heels up, you're working the muscles on the outside of the legs and the ankles. And when you sweep in and up, you're working on the muscles on the inside. So this is mobilising feet in preparation for stand, but also strengthening the muscles in the lower leg here. Okay, that's ankle strengthener. Back with a tea towel. Just before we do that, have another little bit of release if you can. If realistic for you, give your leg a little bit of a stretch out here, and then we're back on the tea towel. Feet together, knees together. On this tea towel, we're going to take it to this position and then just lay it across like so. All this does, it just acts to give us a stronger potential to find some resistance. Here's what we're going to do. Sit tall, press the feet into the floor, make this a little bit loose in the middle, and then we're going to press out to squeeze and then release. The release after each one is important. Set up the posture. Give your buttocks a squeeze again, feet are flat. Support that tea towel, anchor it so you've got some squeeze going on as well through the hands and as well through the shoulders and arms. And you're pressing out and release. And you'll start to feel this on the outside of the hips. 4 or 5 of these, but relax and release after each one. Just put a few of those together. I'll do them with you now. So press out and relax. So you've got this just little squeeze, little pause on the out. Here we go again. Press out and squeeze and release. Now you'll feel a lot of activity here. Your feet will be pressing into the floor. Your buttocks will be contracting, but we're just bringing in the muscles on the outside of the hip also. Release and relax. Okay, we're done on the tea towel. We're done on that. Let's just have a stretch to wrap up this movement snack. Starting with the back of the thigh. So position in the chair so you feel comfortable. Extend this leg out with control, or you might feel more comfortable for that foot to be flat on the floor. It depends how much ankle mobility you have. So have a think, either the foot is flat or it's relaxed and in this position. For now, I'm going to put mine flat. This means the knee will be a little bit bent. Let's have a go at this one. Up tall. You may already have a little bit of stretch on the back of the leg here. If you have, hold that position. If you feel you can today, with the hand here, just lift up tall and just have a little squeeze. Can you feel more stretch as you slightly come forwards? Can you go a little bit more? And as you can see, this activity here, my hand is on this leg supporting me. I need to be able to get down to my feet and toes. I need to be able to put on shoe socks. So this flexibility, this stretch is really important. Feel you can go a little bit more if you want to, and then slowly come back. Let's try the other leg. I'm going to turn slightly sideways so you can see. And can you see what's happening in my trunk here? So we're going to take the leg out to extend. You choose either toe up but relaxed or foot flat. Entirely up to you. If we need to get down here to do something functional, the likelihood is your foot will be flat. So let's work towards that if you can. Up tall. Now as I hinge, my back stays lifted. So that's why this posture strength is really important. Here for strength. Can we squeeze down? Pause after each point in time. Wait for that the muscle to respond to that stretch position. And if you feel you can squeeze a little bit more, do so. I've got support through here. My body is straight, square. And over time, we're looking to be able to creep our way down there a little bit more. But can you see I'm still lifted here? Slowly come back, slowly come back. Have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Let's take chest stretch, up, back and down, squeeze back. Have an extra squeeze here. This is our chest stretch. If it's not comfortable for you to get your arms all the way around there, just slide them back. Little squeeze there, release, and then go again. even if you've been sat for long periods of time, just coming forwards, giving the posture muscles a reminder that we don't want to be chair shaped all day. So give yourself a little bit of extension, even that massive benefits in doing that. Let's try one more. The movement snack's got a little bit more like a main meal. Let's ease these elbows up just to a point that's comfortable for you. Little pause there, head stays still, and then release. And we can do that another 2 or 3 times. Just ease, 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 ease. Hold it when you feel that that's comfortable. We're stretching the back of the arm here. It's going to improve our shoulder movement. Release, release, release. And of course, the other arm. Ease it up or just walk it over. The most important thing here, head still. Keep this head still. Little pause here and down. Okay, folks. That is today's movement snack. How was it for you? All snacked out. The key message here, there's lots of reasons why you may choose to do your movement snack in seated position. That may be because you're still on your way to standing work, or maybe the seated option is your start point and is what you're trying to maintain. Maintaining mobility in seated positions is critical. It's why we want these frequent approaches. So little movement snacks, even that posture lift, even that little bit of circulation boosting, few little buttock squeezes or that attempt to stand but not quite, is going to keep the muscles as strong as we possibly can. We're looking to maintain what we have, maintain movement, and hopefully improve it over time. So accumulate these movement minutes. Sit less, move more. Sit less, move more is the fundamental message. Sit less, move more. Thank you for joining this movement snack. If you are involved in the sit and the stand options, I'll be back at 12 o'clock. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and thank you for watching back. Keep moving.